So how do you do GPS tracking of a vehicle? This is Dave at AFX Search, licensed investigators. GPS tracking has become a really convenient way for some investigators to do surveillance or tracking of a vehicle or of a person. In the prior era before GPS devices, it involved following somebody around and having people be aware of where they're going to be turning to or places they're visiting. Now it has become a commonplace to slap a GPS unit on a car and just follow it on a computer screen. The question is it legal? And in many cases, it's not. Investigators will do it anyways. There are statutes in almost every state which protects the privacy of an individual so their location can't be tracked remotely. It's perfectly okay to follow somebody around in most cases as long as you're not harassing them or stalking them as a licensed investigator, but using GPS tracking can be problematic. You might think, well, if I'm a client and I hire an investigator and they do that, it doesn't affect me at all. Well, it might, because there may be criminal liability. There's been investigators who have been arrested and having criminal charges filed against them. There's also been civil liability where there's a lawsuit filed against the investigator and the client who hired them. So if you have an investigator that is on your case and is responsible for tracking the location or movements of a person, make sure they're not using any illegal methods such as illegal GPS tracking. If it's legal in your case, well then that might be acceptable. One of the misconceptions that's held is if you have ownership in that vehicle, if you're on the title, then you can track it. That may be the case. But if the person who's using your vehicle has an expectation of privacy, or they're an estranged spouse, or you're getting a divorce and they're using your car, tracking that vehicle by GPS might be a misdemeanor. It requires consent. The Georgia case of Randolph just hit the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said exactly that the party using the vehicle has to give consent to follow their location. So make sure that laws are being followed. If you have an attorney that's helping you out in your case that's requiring this investigation, make sure you get good legal advice from an attorney, and that even they are aware of how their investigator is going about conducting their business. If you have questions about surveillance or other investigative ideas, you can reach us at our website at afxsearch.com.